Okay, check out the screen is visible. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll take 5 minutes time to discuss the question paper of first IA. Okay, the first, as you all know, answer any two full questions, selecting at least one question from each part. So in question number one, I have asked 1A. In each question, three sub questions I have asked. What is meant by dimensionally homogeneous equation? Explained with an example. Okay. So here you have to write the definition of what is dimensionally homogeneous equation. Then by taking any equation, you have to prove it is dimensionally homogeneous. For that, it is the 7 marks. Okay. So many of you have written only the definition and you are not explained with a example. You can take any example. You have to prove that the dimensions of LHS side is equal to the dimensions of RHS side. Both are equal. Okay. So such kind of questions you may get in main VTU exam also. So there you have to write to the point. So what they asked, what is meant by dimensionally homogeneous equation, and give an example and explain with an example. Means some of you have written only the example v equal to root of 2j, only that much you have written, but you are not explained that one, how, whether it is a correct equation or not correct equation. Okay, understood how to write the exam, all of you?
Yes, sir.
See, in second question also many of you have not solved this question, and I told you to the practice the problems. Even I have given the assignment question. Assignment question also the same question is there. Obtain an expression for the discharge Q through a sharp crested triangular notch. Assume that Q depends on the central angle alpha. It is an angle. It is a dimensionless term. A notch head H, gravitational acceleration G, density rho, viscosity mu, and surface tension. So again, you have to segregate dependent and independent. Then you have to write with a function term. You have to use the Buckingham pi method here. You will get how many pi terms you will get here? How many pi terms you'll get here? 4 pi terms you'll get. Then pi 1, pi 2, pi 3, pi 4 you should write. You should get, then you have to write finally the answer for the Q. Okay. So this was a question which was asked for a 10 marks. You have to solve it correctly. So many of you have solved only half. Okay. Up to n equal to, you have written 7, m equal to 3, and then in between you have stuck up. Okay. So means you have not practiced the problem. Okay, so please practice the problem. Don't skip this kind of problems. Don't skip the unit also. Okay, it's a very easiest unit. You can get a good mark in this unit also. Okay. Then what is model analysis? What are the advantages of model testing? Here I asked. Many of you have written this question, a definition as well as the advantages. It's for 8 marks. So definition 2 marks and minimum 6 advantages you should write to get the 8 marks. Then again it's a question number 2. A, I asked differentiate between geometric and kinematic similarity, distorted and undistorted models, Reynolds and Froude's model. So many of you have written only the definition here, but geometric means it's obviously it is a shape wise. It is similar to prototype, and size wise it is a smaller size, but you have to write the linear dimension, the ratios you should write. Okay, then kinematic means you should write the ratios of velocity, acceleration, like this. You have to give the example. Then the distorted, again, what do you mean by distorted model? Examples you should write. Okay, whenever you're writing the differences, okay, one is definition, other one is an example you should give. Then again the Reynolds model, what is the Reynolds model, what is the equation, then where generally the Reynolds model you will be using, which is the force more predominant, that all things you should write in the differences. Okay, so again Reynolds model here, the viscous is more predominant, Froude's the gravity is more predominant. Again you have to write the equations here. Then where you come across such kind of number, that is a Reynolds number or a Froude number, where to use, which situations you need to use, those things you need to write in the differences. Okay, and this question I solved in the class. Yes or no? I solved in the class, right? This one. So I solved. Yes or no? Hello? At least
Yes.
give response whenever I ask questions. So this question I asked and it was solved in the class. Okay. So some of you have written directly the answer. Some of you have solved stepwise. Okay. So whenever it is asked for 10 marks, you should write each and every data clearly. You have to substitute in the formula. You have to give the Reynolds number. You have to write the Reynolds equation. You have to calculate the velocity of flow and rate of flow. Many of you, without calculating the velocity of flow, directly you calculated the rate of flow only. Okay, that is wrong. So when it is asked for 10 marks, even though your answer is correct, you have got in 2 steps, but it is asked for 10 marks. So for 10 marks, you have to write the stepwise. Then state Buckingham pi theorem and explain method of analysis. So many of you have written the statement of Buckingham, but you have explained the release method and Buckingham. I have not asked the release method and Buckingham procedure. So I have asked how you calculate or how you analyze the problem by using this Buckingham. So you have to take the x1, x2, x3 terms and how you take the repeating variables and how you do the exponents and all those things you need to explain. That is for 8 marks. Then in part B, I asked the difference between open channel flow and pipe flow, and the definition also I asked what is open channel flow. And whenever you are writing the differences between a pipeline and the open channel flow, first you need to uh, give the diagram you should draw, open channel as well as the pipe. Then you have to give the HGL and EZL, then the force which is predominant in the pipe and which is predominant in channel. Those are all things you need to write. Many of you have written anyway. And the derive Church's equation for discharge through the uniform flow in a channel. So here you need to derive the equation, but the figure should be neat. Whenever you deriving the equation, the figure should be neat, and whatever you need to represent in that figure, the component of the weight or whatever the angle, it should be clearly mentioned in the figure. Okay, and then you have to write the stepwise. So many of you skipped the steps and you written the directly answer. For that I have cut the marks. Okay, and even though your answer is correct, but you have skipped some of the steps and you have not drawn the figure properly. So I have I have cut the marks. Okay, there. And even find the rate of flow of water. This problem I asked, the triangular notch laid on a bed slope of 1 in 1000 and the depth of flow of water is 4 meter. Take the Church's constant 55. Estimate the value of Manning's constant here. So it is a triangular notch. First you need to calculate the rate of flow. Then you have to calculate the Manning's constant, that is n equal to what is the equation? Anybody remember? How will you calculate? C is given. How will you calculate? C equal to? You have solved this. You have got the marks, good marks. Can anyone tell what is the Manning's equation?
0.08.
No, I am not asking the answer. What is the equation I am asking?
1 by m into m raised to 1 by
1 by 6. Okay, so many of you have solved only the that is up to q you have solved, and you have forgotten to the calculate the Manning's constant. For that also the marks are being deducted. Okay, so you have to read the question carefully, then you have to answer it. Again, question number 4, I asked the distinguish between the prismatic and non-prismatic channel. What is a prismatic and what is a non-prismatic? You have to give the example for a prismatic channel and non-prismatic channel, hydraulic depth and hydraulic mean depth, the definitions, then equations, steady flow and unsteady flow. Then you are In this problem, an open channel of a trapezoidal section, base width 1.5 meter and slope 60 degree to the horizontal is used to convey water at a constant depth of 1 meter. If the channel bed slope is 1 in 400, compute the discharge in cumex. The Church's constant may be evaluated using the relation C equal to 87 divided by 1 plus 0.2 divided by square root of R, where R is the hydraulic radius. So in this problem, you have to take the C value by using this formula. Okay, by using this formula, you have to take the C value and calculate the answer. And here, a flow of water of 100 LPS flows down in a rectangular flume of width 700 and having adjustable bottom slope. If Church's constant C is 55, find the bottom slope necessary for uniform flow with the depth flow 400 millimeter. Also find the conveyance K. Here the K value has been asked, and you have to calculate first the that is bottom slope. Then you have to calculate the conveyance K. It is for 8 marks. Okay. So we'll get soon the marks also will be displayed soon. Okay. So any doubt in this question paper? Anything you want to ask? The scheme is visible.
Yes, sir.
Here how I allotted the marks are given here like this. In main exam also the marks will be allotted. See the step wise the marks will, if you skipped any of the step, you will lose your marks. Okay, and don't expect only for answers you will get the marks. No, the step wise you will get the marks. Right. Okay. So is it visible this now? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
You all can hear my voice, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So let us start the next section of this module. That is the most economical sections of channel. So most economical sections is a very important again. This is very important for the examination point of view. So what are most economical channel section? A section of a channel is said to be most economical when the cost of construction of the channel is minimum, but the cost of construction of the channel, which depends upon the excavation and the lining. Means here, if you want to get a most economical channel section, any shape, if you take any shape, rectangle or a trapezium, so this is a trapezium channel section. So the cost of the channel section of this shape, when you say it is the most economical, when the cost of construction is minimum, then you say it is an economical section. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
When the cost of construction of any channel section is minimum, then we call it as it is economical. But the cost of construction of a channel, which depends upon what? The excavation as well as the lining. Lining means whatever the concreting you are done, whatever the concreting you are doing on this surface. Okay, on this surface, the concreting, that is called lining. Okay, here lining. This one. This is called lining, lined canal. Okay, so the cost of construction includes the excavation as well as lining of the channel. But to keep the cost down or a minimum, the wetted perimeter for a given discharge should be minimum. The wetted perimeter, you all know what is the definition of wetted perimeter? Can anyone tell what is the definition of wetted perimeter?
Contact between water and layer.
Water and contact between water and what?
Basin.
Okay. So that is the wetted perimeter. Wetted perimeter, and this condition is utilized. Means this wetted perimeter should be minimum to get the economical section. So as long as this wetted perimeter is more, so the cost of construction will be high. So here you need to reduce the wetted perimeter. The length of contact surface needs to be reduced to get the most economical channel section. If you reduce the length of contact surface, automatically the cost of lining will get reduced. When the cost of lining get reduced, that is concreting get reduced, automatically the cost of construction of channel should be reduced. So this condition is utilized for determining the dimensions of the most economical sections of different form of channels. Understood the most economical channel section?
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Check your network. Understood the most economical channel section? Now?
I'm using Wi-Fi.
Now? Is it breaking?
No, sir. Now it's clear.
Okay. See, I'll repeat. Most economical channel section is 1. When the cost of construction of the channel is minimum, that is one criteria. But when the cost of construction is minimum, at the same time, the channel should give the maximum discharge. It should carry the maximum discharge. So to get this one, means maximum discharge, the wetted perimeter should be minimum. The wetted perimeter should be minimum. So this condition is utilized for determining the dimensions of economical sections of different forms of the channels. Means the channel could be a rectangle, it could be a trapezoidal, it could be a triangle, it could be a circle, any shape you take, triangle, rectangle, or a circle, any channel shape you can take, but the condition is what? The wetted perimeter should be minimum, and the discharge should be maximum. Understood the economical sections, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the definition of most economical channel section. A most economical channel section is 1 when the cost of construction of the channel is minimum, but the cost of construction of channel depends upon the excavation as well as the lining. To keep the cost down or a minimum, the wetted perimeter for a given discharge, the wetted perimeter for the given discharge should be minimum, and this condition is utilized for determining the dimensions of an economical sections of different forms of the channel.
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Hello, now? Voice is breaking means you check your network.
Sir, I'm using Jio Fiber, sir. It won't-
Even I am also using the same.
It's
Now?
too fast, sir. Yes, sir, it's correct. Now it's coming.
Now the most economical section is also called as a best section or the most efficient section, as the discharge passing through a most economical section of a channel for a given cross-sectional area A, slope of bed I, the resistance coefficient and the resistance coefficient is maximum, but the discharge Q is given by. Okay. So I'll take this one. Just a minute. Now, is it visible, this paper?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming to the most economical channel section. The most economical channel section, as I said, the cost of construction should be minimum. The cost of construction should be minimum. And at the same time, the discharge should be maximum. Cost of construction should be minimum. But discharge passing, it should be what? Maximum. To achieve this, what is the criteria? The wetted perimeter should be minimum. Perimeter should be minimum. Is it visible? You all can see this one. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
So this is the most economical channel section I'm telling. The cost of construction should be minimum. The discharge passing, it should be maximum. To achieve this one, the wetted perimeter should be minimum. Okay. So for an open channel that conveys a maximum discharge for a given area, for the given slope, that is bed slope, for the given surface resistance, is called as a hydraulically efficient channel. And from the Chudji's equation, you all know Chudji's equation is what? V equal to C root of what? M into I, correct? Huh? Then what is Q? A into V. Then substitute here, what you get? A C root of M into I. This was the equation. But A C, what is M? Can anyone tell what is M?
Area by perimeter.
Yes, area by perimeter, correct. It's a hydraulic radius. And also, what is I?
Bed slope.
I is the bed slope, correct. Now, what I will do here, in this one, to get the economical channel section, so what is the criteria? The area of section should be constant. Whatever the area is, cross-sectional area should be constant. Then the roughness or the Chudji is constant, it should be constant. And also the bed slope should be constant. Bed slope should be constant. Then what is the variable here you will get?
Wetted perimeter.
Only the perimeter is the variable. Only the perimeter is variable. Okay. So here I will write here 1 minute. The area, if I take it out, so is it square when it comes out? Is it a cube? Correct? Huh? Not a cube. If I take it out, area of a raised to 1 by 2, is it a raised to 3 by 2? Yes, sir.
A raised to 3 by 2.
A raised to 3 by 2. Correct? Huh? It's a raised to 3 by 2. Then I'll write here? I'll write here, this is a constant into 1 by root of P. I hope you understood this one, all of you. So when I'm writing it is a constant, which all terms are constant, tell me? area constant, keeping cross-sectional area constant. C means roughness of the surface constant. Then I means what is the constant? Bed slope is constant. Okay, so it means the open channel that conveys a maximum discharge, when it conveys a maximum discharge for a given area, the area is given, it is not changing, the cross-section area is not changing. For a given bed slope, that is also constant. And also the surface resistance means the roughness, this value of C, what you are taking. So keeping this all constant, the variable only is the perimeter is the variable. And if we reduce the perimeter, if the perimeter get decreases, what about discharge?
Increases.
Increases.
Increases. If the perimeter increases, what about discharge?
Decreases.
Decreases. So what we want to achieve a maximum discharge, what is the condition? The wetted perimeter should be minimum. I hope you understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay, with this criteria, the dimensions of most economical channel section to be obtained. This is the criteria to be taken. That is, the wetted perimeter should be minimum. Now we have to think for different channel sections. It could be trapezium, it could be rectangle, it could be triangle, it could be circle. So these are the most uh, uh, channel section means frequently using these kind of channel sections. Okay, the trapezium, rectangle, triangle, or a circle like this. Okay, so now the each one, the what is the conditions to get the maximum discharge in this channel? What is the condition to get the maximum discharge in the rectangular channel? What is the conditions to get the maximum discharge in the triangular notch? What is the condition to get a maximum discharge in the circular channels? So the condition is what? The perimeter should be reduced. To reduce the perimeter, after reducing the perimeter, what should be the dimensions of these channels? So when we get the dimensions of these channels, and those represents the most economical channel section dimensions. I hope you understood, all of you. I hope you understood all of you this one.
Yes, sir.
Anybody having any doubt here, you please ask. So what is the most economical channel section? Definition. What is the most economical channel section definition?
Cost of construction should be minimum.
Okay.
Rate of discharge should be maximum.
Okay. To achieve this one, what is the criteria?
Wetted perimeter should be
Perimeter
minimum.
should be low.
Okay, wetted perimeter should be minimum. Okay, means see how much length of that water is in contact with the surface. So that much will what will happen? The resistance it will experience. Yes or no? How much area it wets, that much will be the resistance. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If lesser the resistance, means when it wets lesser area, the resistance will be less. Obviously, it will carry the maximum discharge. Now we have to think about how to reduce the wetted perimeter for each one of the channel section. So we'll take one by one and we'll do the derivations of these channel sections. Okay. I hope you understood this much. Right. So next, I'm going to take the first channel section, rectangular channel section, first one. Rectangular channel section. So now I have to get what are the most economical channel section dimensions here. Okay. So for the rectangular channel section, it should be converted into most economical channel. Okay, so when I'm calling it as a most economical channel section, so when you're calling it as a most economical channel section, so how we can define this rectangular channel section? Most economical rectangular channel section means what are the conditions here?
Discharge should be maximum and
Yes.
wetted perimeter should be less.
Correct.
Minimum.
So, correct. Discharge, when I'm calling it as a most economical channel section, discharge should be maximum, cost should be minimum. Then to achieve this, wetted perimeter should be less, should be minimum. Okay, so with this, so we'll derive the equations. So let us consider a rectangular channel section. You also noted down this one. Derivation is very important. So derivation, I'm doing the derivation here. And let us take the width as B and depth as Y. Okay, this one. So consider a rectangular channel section, I'm writing here. Consider a rectangular channel section. Consider a rectangular channel section with bottom width B and depth of flow Y as shown in the figure. As shown in the figure. I hope my handwriting is visible to you all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can anyone tell what is the flow area here? Flow area.
B into D.
Yes, B into Y, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is flow area. This is the flow area. Okay. Then can anyone tell what is the wetted perimeter?
B plus 2D.
Perimeter, wetted perimeter. P equal to B plus, I taken as a depth as a Y here. P plus
2Y.
2Y. Now let us in this one substitute the value of B from the equation 1. Let us call this equation number 1, this equation number 2. From equation number 1, what is the value of B?
A by Y.
Yes, I'll substitute here A by Y plus 2Y. Let us call this one equation number 3. Any doubt here till here?
No, sir.
So why I have converted all into a perimeter equation is because our condition is what? To achieve this discharge maximum and cost minimum, what should be reduced? The perimeter should be reduced. Okay, so I written all in perimeter equation. So for minimum perimeter, shall I write dP by dy equal to 0? In mathematical term, maxima and minima. Have you heard the word maxima and minima? Hello?
Yes, sir.
For maximum also we use the same equation. For minimum also we use the same equation. We get the maximum and minimum, and that equation curve will be like this. You know the, right? When it comes here, it is a maximum. When it comes down here, it's a minimum, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is the equation, means that the rate of, that is the rate of perimeter with respect to depth. The change of perimeter with respect to depth of flow is equal to 0. Okay. Then I have the equation here, T, substitute here. What do you get here? When I differentiate this equation, what do you get? Tell me. dp by dy, differentiate this one with respect to y. What do you get here? Quickly, tell me.
A plus 2, sir.
No, if you differentiate this equation, what do you get? Tell me fast. Differentiation, you tell me this one. With respect to
Minus
y.
a by y square
Yes,
plus 2.
correct. Minus a by y square plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay. So when I differentiate this equation with respect to y, I'll get a minus a by y square plus 2 is equal to 0. Then substituting the value of a here. What is the value of a? Substituting,
B into y.
correct, b into y. If I substitute here, I'll get what I'll get here, minus b into y divided by y square plus 2 equal to 0. Then what do you get here? B equal to, will you get a 2y? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now the bottom width of the channel section, rectangular channel section, has become b equal to 2y. Okay, then next. Now I'll write this one. The same, when I got a b equal to 2y, then I call it as a efficient channel. FE means efficient channel, or you can call it as economical channel rectangular. The width will be 2y when I'm calling it as a efficient. Then what about the depth? Efficient depth, tell me.
B by 2.
Yes, b by 2. Correct. B by 2. So when you are calling this rectangular channel as a most economical, its width should be 2 times the depth, and its depth should be half the width. Then only it gives you the maximum discharge, and the wetted perimeter should be minimum, because for a minimum perimeter already we have differentiated. We have got the answer here. For a minimum perimeter, the dimensions of the rectangular channel should be 2 times of y, the width should be 2 times of y, and the depth of flow should be half of the width. Now, therefore, for efficient rectangular channel section, the flow depth should be half the bottom width, or you can call it half the bottom width, or bottom width should be twice the depth of flow, or twice the depth of. These are the two conditions for the most economical rectangular channel section. Okay, then also you can calculate the hydraulic radius. What is the formula for hydraulic radius? Tell me, hydraulic radius, what is the formula? You can call it as a M or R. What is the hydraulic radius formula? R equal to?
A by P.
Yes, A by P. But already you have calculated the area B into Y. Then perimeter is what? B plus 2Y, correct? Yes or no? Correct this one? B into Y, B plus 2Y, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then what is the value of B? Already you have calculated from the condition. What is the value of B?
2y.
2y. I'll substitute 2y here into y, again divided by 2y plus 2y. If I substitute and if I simplify this one, I'll get y by 2. Just check it. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the condition. What are the conditions for the most economical channel section? Now for most economical rectangular channel section, the condition are, yes, tell me what is the first condition? Fast. What is the first condition? When you're saying the rectangular channel section is most economical, what is the first condition?
cost of the construction should be
That you
minimum.
leave it. That is the condition. So you already derived the conditions. What are the conditions? Tell me first.
Y.
What are the conditions? Why? What are the conditions you already derived?
B equal
Y
to 2.
equal to B by 2, sir.
B equal to 2 times of Y. That is width of the channel section is twice the depth of flow. What is the second condition?
Y equal to
Y
B
equal
by
to B by
Y equal to B by 2. There is the second condition. What is the third condition?
R equal to Y by 2.
What is this R?
hydraulic
Hydraulic
radius.
radius.
Hydraulic radius should be half the depth of flow, and the width of the channel section should be twice the depth of flow, and depth of flow should be half the bottom width of the channel. So these are the three conditions. If you utilize these conditions and you calculate the discharge, obviously you will get the maximum discharge and the perimeter should be minimum. So likewise, you have to derive some other channel sections. So we have derived the rectangle channel section today. So this we have derived the conditions. So similarly, we'll derive for the trapezium section. We'll derive for the this one triangular section. Again, we'll derive for the circular section. So 4 derivations are there. So these 4 derivations are very, very important. You can see in the question paper, each and every question paper, you will get a 1 derivations sure in exam. So 1 derivation is sure. So with this, I'll wind up the today's session here. So I'll continue in the next class, and next class I'll take the next channel section, and utilizing this condition, the perimeter should be minimum. You also go through these conditions and you can check in a textbook and go through this one, and I'll derive the equation in the next class. So I hope you all, if you understood. So with this, I'll wind up the today's session. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I hope you all have understood derivation.
Yes, sir.
All of you understood this derivation? Remember these conditions. Okay, these are very important conditions for solving the problem. If you want to ask anything, you can ask regarding the derivations. If any of the step you have not understood, you can ask here. I am here to answer you. No problem?
No, sir.
Yes. So if you don't have any problem, you can leave the meeting. We'll continue in the next class.